Let me tell you something uncomfortable. Most people don't fail because they lack talent. They fail because they talk too much, explain too much, share too early, and focus on everyone except themselves. 2026 is not the year to announce, it's the year to disappear and build. Focus on yourself and stay silent. Silence isn't weakness. Silence is leverage. When you stop broadcasting your plans, you stop inviting doubt, distraction, and other people's limitations into your life. You don't need applause at the starting line. You need results at the finish. Here's the truth. People don't need to know what you're working on. They need to see what you've done. Focus beats motivation every single time. Motivation is loud. It fades. It lies to you when things get hard. Focus is quiet. It shows up even when no one's watching. In 2026, stop chasing inspiration and start building systems. Wake up, do the work, track the numbers, improve one skill that pays, repeat. No drama, no announcements, no excuses. Privacy is power. The moment you tell everyone your goals, your brain gets a hit of fake progress. You feel productive without actually producing anything. And then, nothing changes. So protect your momentum. Move in silence. Let confusion be your camouflage. You don't owe anyone an explanation for choosing growth over comfort. You don't owe updates. You don't owe access. Execution matters. Explanation doesn't. No one gets paid for potential. No one gets rewarded for being busy. The world only responds to outcomes. So stop explaining your vision and start executing it. Stop posting your grind and start compounding it. Energy is a currency, and most people are broke because they waste it. They argue online, they compare timelines, they seek validation from people who don't pay their bills. In 2026, guard your energy like capital. Invest it where it grows, your skills, your health, your income, your freedom. And finally, ownership. 2026 is the year you take responsibility for everything. Your time, your habits, your results. No blaming, no complaining, no waiting for permission. You don't need to be louder, you don't need to be seen, you need to be consistent, focused, and relentless. So focus on yourself, stay silent, and let your results do the talking. Silence is one of the most underestimated advantages you can have, especially in a world obsessed with noise. Everyone is talking, posting, explaining, reacting. Very few are actually building. When you stay silent, you remove yourself from distractions that don't move you forward. You stop performing and start producing. Silence gives you time to think clearly. When you're not busy responding to opinions or defending your ideas, your mind has space to plan, analyze, and make better decisions. Most mistakes come from acting too fast or talking too much. Silence slows you down just enough to be deliberate instead of reactive. There is also power in being underestimated. When people don't know your next move, they can't interfere, discourage, or compete with you. Silence keeps your plans protected. Not everyone needs access to your goals, and not everyone wants you to win. Moving quietly allows you to build without pressure and grow without judgment. Silence sharpens your focus. Every explanation you give costs energy. Every unnecessary conversation drains momentum. When you stop announcing what you're going to do, you naturally redirect that energy into actually doing it. Progress accelerates when your effort is private and your attention is undivided. Silence also builds credibility. Talk is cheap and common. Results are rare. When you speak less and deliver more, people listen differently. Your words carry weight because they are backed by action. You don't have to convince anyone when your outcomes speak for you. Most importantly, silence creates control. You control the narrative by controlling access. You decide when to reveal, when to move, and when to let the results show up. In a loud world, silence isn't empty. It's calculated. It's not hiding. It's positioning. Motivation is unreliable. It shows up when things are exciting and disappears the moment work gets boring, uncomfortable, or repetitive. If you wait to feel motivated, you'll spend most of your life standing still. Focus, on the other hand, doesn't care how you feel. It operates on commitment, not emotion. Focus is choosing the task even when there's no excitement attached to it. It's doing the work on average days, bad days, and days when no one is watching. Motivation wants a mood. Focus builds a routine, and routines are what create results. When you rely on motivation, you chase peaks, bursts of effort followed by long gaps of inaction. Focus creates consistency. Small, boring actions done daily compound faster than occasional inspired effort. That's how real progress happens, quietly and predictably. Focus eliminates decision fatigue. When you know exactly what matters, you stop negotiating with yourself. You don't waste energy debating whether to act. You just act. Motivation asks, do I feel like it? Focus asks, is this the priority? One leads to excuses, the other leads to outcomes. Focus also protects you from distraction. Motivation gets pulled in 100 directions by trends, opinions, and comparisons. Focus narrows your world to what actually moves the needle. You stop chasing everything and start finishing something. In the long run, motivation might get you started, but focus is what carries you through. It's quieter, less exciting, and far more powerful. The people who win aren't the most motivated. They're the most focused. Momentum is fragile in the early stages, and privacy is what keeps it alive. When you move quietly, you protect your progress from unnecessary interference. The moment you make your goals public, you invite opinions, expectations, and pressure that can slow you down before you've built real traction. Sharing too early creates a false sense of completion. Talking about what you plan to do can feel like progress, but it's not. It often replaces action with validation. Privacy removes that shortcut. When no one is watching, the only way forward is to actually do the work. Privacy also shields you from doubt, both yours and others. Not everyone will understand your vision, and most people judge based on their own limitations. Their skepticism can seep into your thinking if you let it. Keeping your plans to yourself allows you to build confidence through execution instead of seeking approval. When you move in private, you move faster. There's no need to explain, delays, justify pivots, or defend decisions. You're free to adjust, fail, and improve without an audience. That freedom keeps momentum intact and makes progress smoother. Privacy creates emotional stability. Public goals create emotional highs and lows tied to outside reactions. Private goals keep you grounded. Your progress becomes internal, measured by results instead of reactions. That steadiness makes it easier to stay consistent over time. In the end, privacy isn't secrecy for fear, it's discipline for growth. You don't hide because you're unsure. You stay private because momentum matters more than attention, and progress grows best when it's protected. Explanation feels productive, but it rarely produces results. You can spend hours justifying your plans, defending your choices, and helping others understand your vision, and still have nothing to show for it. Execution skips all of that. It trades words for action and intention for outcomes. No one is rewarded for clarity of ideas alone. The world doesn't pay for potential or good reasoning. It responds to what exists, what works, and what delivers value. You don't need people to understand what you're doing. You need them to see that it's done. Every explanation costs time and energy. Every conversation pulls you slightly off course. When you stop explaining, you reclaim that energy and put it back into building. Progress accelerates when your calendar is filled with work, not justification. Execution also builds confidence in a way explanation never can. Talking about what you're going to do keeps you stuck in the future. Doing the work grounds you in the present. Each completed action becomes proof that you're capable, regardless of who believes in you. When you execute consistently, explanations become unnecessary. Results simplify everything. They answer questions before they're asked and silence doubt without confrontation. Success doesn't argue, it shows. In the long run, the people who move ahead aren't the best communicators of ideas, they're the best implementers. Execution creates leverage, momentum, and credibility. Explanation only creates noise. Energy is limited, and once it's spent, you don't get it back. Every thought, conversation, argument, and distraction charge is a cost. The problem is, most people spend their energy like it's unlimited, then wonder why they're exhausted with nothing to show for it. Where you place your energy determines your results. If it's constantly going into comparison, scrolling, complaining, or proving yourself, there's none left for building. Energy misused feels like being busy but going nowhere. Energy invested creates momentum. Protecting your energy means making harder choices. It means saying no more often. No to unnecessary conversations. No to distractions disguised as opportunities. No to environments that drain more than they give. Discipline with energy is what separates progress from burnout. Emotional energy matters as much as physical energy. Holding on to resentment, chasing validation, or reacting to every opinion keeps you mentally exhausted. When you stop reacting, you regain control. Calm is not laziness, it's efficiency. High performers don't do more, they waste less. They channel their energy into a small number of high-impact actions and repeat them consistently. That focus compounds. Scattered energy doesn't. When you treat energy like a currency, you start spending it intentionally. on skills that pay, on habits that last, on work that compounds. That's how ordinary effort turns into extraordinary results. 2026 is the year responsibility stops being optional. Ownership means accepting that where you are is a result of what you've tolerated, chosen, and repeated. Not circumstances. Not luck. Not other people. When you take ownership, excuses lose their power and progress begins. Ownership of your time comes first. If you don't control your schedule, someone else will. Every hour given away without intention becomes a future you didn't choose. Taking ownership means designing your days around what matters, not what's convenient. Ownership of your skills is next. The market doesn't care about effort, it cares about value. If your skills don't pay, that's your responsibility to fix. Learn something useful, practice it relentlessly, become harder to replace. That's ownership in action. Ownership of your income follows. Depending on a single source of income without leverage is a risk, not security. Ownership means understanding how money moves, how it's earned, and how it grows. It means building assets, not just collecting paychecks. Ownership also applies to your habits. Your future isn't built by big moments. It's shaped by daily behavior. What you eat, what you consume mentally, how you respond under pressure. These are choices, not accidents. In 2026, ownership is the line between those who wait and those who build. No one is coming to save you. That's not a threat, it's freedom. When you own everything, you control everything that comes next. So as you step into 2026, understand this. You don't need to be louder, faster, or more visible. You need to be more intentional. Focus on yourself when everyone else is distracted. Stay silent when others are seeking attention. Protect your energy, guard your momentum, and let execution replace explanation. This is the year you stop announcing and start becoming. The year you trade noise for discipline, motivation for focus, and comfort for ownership. No shortcuts, no validation, just consistent work done in private. When the time is right, your results will speak, clearly, confidently, and without introduction. And when they do, no explanation will be required.